Okay, I've been working on this for a little while. See all the scratches. I tried pressing this thing out, and I had it set up here like this. Had it set up here several different ways, but this was one way. And if you see all the paint removed, it's because it bent, and I had to bend it back. And it's actually, I'm lucky that it bent. Fucking diesel truck. I'm lucky that it bent, because if it didn't, I probably would have ruined my hub a little more than I realized. Because what I was doing was I was pressing on the back side of this, and I was pressing on the entire portion. And you have a circlip here, and then your wheel bearing, and that wheel bearing looks gorgeous. I don't know that I'm going to be able to focus on it. There we go. 250,000 miles, and it looks perfect. That is amazing. So I am gonna get some high temp grease and put it in there. I figured that'd be a good idea. Put a little extra grease in there. Gonna get some brand new grease. So I'm going to figure out what size socket runs through here so that I will be able to press it out later. You cannot take these studs off and replace them unless you pull the hub, which is a not too hard of a job with it being on the car, but you got to be able to press it back in. And if you can't do it while it's on the car, I think it gets to be a little bit bigger of a job. You got to remove all the brakes. You have to remove the upper ball joint, the lower ball joint, and the tie rod without damaging any of them. And that's not too difficult, because the tie rod, you just take the nut off, flip the nut upside down, screw it up till it's flush, and then take a hammer and bang that sucker up. Otherwise, get a tie rod remover tool. The upper ball joint, I don't know. I'd probably use maybe the ball joint separator. That might get underneath there and work. It worked on the lower ball joint wonderfully. I have bent up this metal. I'm going to have to bend it back up. These screws you can't take off unless you cut out one of the studs, which you're not going to do unless it's broken. So the only way you can get to these screws is if you pull the hub. Pulling the hub was very easy with the slide hammer and the tools. I slid this thing 4 times, 5 max, and it fell out onto the floor. I was not anticipating that, because when I read online it said that it would take about a 10-minute job. Now, I don't know what the heck they were doing. It would cause them to take 10 minutes. So the slide hammer at AutoZone is part number 27033, and the adapter is 27037. And that's all you need. It just threads. It threads in there. You remove the piece that's with it, and grab a couple of lug nuts, put them through there on top of the lug studs, and then use your lug nuts to tighten it down, finger tight. And then I used a open end wrench, 19mm, to cinch it down. Like I said, 4 or 5 whacks, that thing came right out. So I'm sure it'll drive back in. I'm gonna clean it up and put it back in there. So I bought studs, which were just under $2. I originally bought 1, and then when the guy went back there and got one, I thought, you know what, if I'm gonna pull the stud, why not buy 4 and just replace all 4. So for like $9 or under $9, I've got all 4 of these, and that was the part number I needed. So made in the United States. Wow, well, that's a rarity nowadays. I like to see that. So I think these are a little different too, because I think there's tabs on mine, but I also don't know if this hub is bad yet or not until I punch those out. I'm hoping the hub doesn't have these splines on them, because if it does, then the hub's junk. So I'm going to pause the video and do a little work and come back. If you're going to be replacing the wheel studs, then it's probably best to just well, I can tell you right now, it's best to knock them all out before you pull the hub. It'd be a lot easier. So put something on there you don't care about and whack it, or use a rubber mallet or something. That's what I have, is that big rubber hammer down there. I think it's like somewhere around a 47 ounce, something like that. I was able to press one of these out. I'm not going to be able to press the other two. I'll figure out how to get them out later. I don't believe I'm going to be able to press them out. I don't have a jig that's going to help, so somehow I'm going to have to set this up. I may even have to put it back in, which I don't want to do, and then hammer it out, but I will get it. It just is going to hurt my hand probably. The measurement of this hub is 1.5 inches. 1.50 almost exactly. Come on, you stupid phone. There we go. So you're going to want 50 thousandths of an inch smaller than that. So you're going to want 1.450 in order to push it through there. The Craftsman 1 1/8 was like 1.490. It would fit, but you know, that's just so close. That scared me unless there's a bevel. So I don't know. Well, I won't find out on the other side. I'm pretty much done with this. So next video should show new wheel studs on here, the hub back in, the wheel bearing grease will be packed, and there's some new stuff, and it'll start coming together. So I don't believe that there are splines in this hub. You can see that, but I think those are just indentations from when the splines went in. That, I think it was machined that way, because when I went to put the old one that just came out of there in here, it was a tight fit. So I think I'm going to be okay. And the reason why I thought that these bottom out on here, because I was tired, and they did bottom out when the rotor was on. I don't know if I mentioned that already or not. So that's what the image I had in my mind, was that it was bottoming out to this point, but it wasn't the hub, it was the rotor. So that's what caused me to screw this up. But it was a good learning experience. I learned exactly how to get the ball joint out. You had to remove the dust cover shield, and also learned how to extract one of these. And now I'll also probably learn how to press it out, because I know what I'm actually pressing on. It's just this inner portion. I didn't know how this thing went together. So all in all, I'd say a bad thing in this case actually turned out to be good. And possibly it wasn't even bad, because I don't even think I've damaged this. I think this hub is still good. So the hub is still good. I just need to be able to get that third wheel stud in. So that's where we're at for today, and that's going to be our stopping